Hello, everyone there at metalrules.com. This is Kevin Ridley. I'm speaking on behalf of a new band called Theigns and Thralls. Now, sorry about the glasses, but this is very small type. What drives me as an artist? That's a very good question. I've been doing this for a long time and I don't know the answer. Let's just say, obviously, I enjoy it, otherwise I wouldn't do it. And that's as simple as that, I suppose. As to the band's name, Theigns and Thralls, it's a concept that I was working on for a song from Anglo-Saxon times, which basically means master and servant. And I tried to write the song to explain this concept about back in history, how time can teach us lessons. Yeah, and I decided to, somewhere along the line, to make that the name of the band. I don't know which came first. It was a chicken and egg situation. Was it the song or the band name? It was all sort of mixed up. But I decided to name the band Theigns and Thralls after the song, and the album's also called Theigns and Thralls. This album, the Theigns and Thralls album, started during the pandemic in 2020 when we were all locked down and we couldn't do any gigs. So I was sitting in the house and I was working on some songs and I needed some extra bits, things that I can't play, violin and hurdy-gurdy and all that sort of thing. And so I contacted lots of people and everyone was really, really helpful, very supportive. And we ended up with like 25 players on the album from all around Europe, which makes it a big collaborative effort. The lyrics for this, as I said before, about talking about Anglo-Saxon things, was my interest comes from a lot of historical information, a lot of historical reading, historical novels, and I wanted to use that interest to put them into the song. So, for example, Drinking, the song, the first single, is based on a 17th century poem that I came across, and I thought, wow, that looks really interesting to make a song with. There's another one called The Highwayman, which is a huge poem, very popular in the UK, and I thought that would also make a good rousing sort of song, but it was a bit long, so I had to chop it down in half to make it sort of manageable. So basically a lot of this information for the songs comes from poems, books, anything I read, but it's not all historical. Sometimes there are some more contemporary things. The idea, as I said before, was to try and get history which kind of repeats itself and can teach us some things about what's going on. So, for example, the New Folk Devils is a contemporary thing about people that are made scapegoats within society, sections in society that are made scapegoats. So it's a mixture of things. Basically, anything I see, read, or hear, like a magpie, I pick up little bits from all over the place, and a spark goes in here, and then I hopefully turn that into a song. As to the artwork, as I said, we were in the pandemic. And one of the things I saw was a painting of an illustration of a medieval thing, Dr. Death. It was like a crow. And this was done by a friend of mine called Renato Ficini, who we've worked with Skyclad and on my solo album. And so I contacted Renato and I said, I love this illustration. I've got this new thing going. Would you be interested in, could I use that? But he, as usual, said, I'll do something even better for you. And so we spent a lot of time discussing the imagery, lots of different imagery, and the idea was to pull all these things together into this very complicated piece of artwork that he's done. It's absolutely fantastic job, and it was so good that we've got obviously album cover but posters as well, and we're going to even incorporate it to the Theigns and Thralls video, which is going to be released in March before the album comes out, so people can really see all the various elements and how they all fit together. Marvelous job. Well, again, during the pandemic, I found myself listening to a lot of playlists for metal. Everyone's been doing the best albums and things like that, so I've been listening to a lot more of that lately. And a couple of bands that have caught my attention is one from the UK, a band called Green Lung, which have got a sort of 70s feel to them, and I really, really like that. And I don't listen to a lot of bands from the UK for some reason, but I picked up on that one. And another one that again, just recently, is a band called Dirty Shirt from Romania, I think, And I love, again, the way they combine the traditional Romanian elements with all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff. But seen some concerts with a huge folk ensemble and the metal band playing together. Really, really interesting stuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying listening to some new things. The local music scene is a difficult one for me to talk about because I live in Madrid, and I don't often get out much to see very much what's happening in Madrid, especially with the pandemic, of course. But one of the things that I am doing is the first gig is going to be in Zaragoza, and the guys up there in the north of what I know in the north of Spain, they've got a sort of collective thing going on, and they do some the Iberian Warriors. They do some festivals. They're doing one in March. Again, it's been difficult. For the last 2 years, nothing's been happening, and big respect to them because they really want to try and get it going again and pull things together. So we're going to go up there and do the first gig in Zaragoza, which is a bit of a hub for folk metal. If anybody's interested, you should check out what's happening in the north of Spain, then Galicia and in the Basque Country and places like that. About the future plans for the band. This is the very beginning. When I started, it was a recording project. There was no band. And as I said, there was a lot of musicians involved, and obviously they're all in other bands, so they all can't come together for this. So what we did is put together a touring band. It's like a core of people, and there are 5 of us now. So that forms the basis of the first sort of episode of this touring band. And we're now looking to put the album launch together. So the first gig's in Zaragoza in Spain, and then the album launch is going to be up in the Netherlands. And obviously from there we're going to start looking at festivals for the summer, and then maybe a more serious tour towards the end of the year once the album's out. So while we've got the core of the band, the future is I would like to keep this collaboration thing going. So for example, in the Netherlands, people who played on the album will get on stage with us. If we play in Spain, some of the guys who played on the album will get on stage with us, and so hopefully that makes it a bit exciting, something interesting at different shows. If we can get some guest musicians to come on and play some various bits. And again, going forward to the next album, we've now got a core of a band, but hopefully we'll still add 1 or 2 guest musicians to add a few things of interest. All right. Why does metal rule? It links back to the second question. Why do we do this? I said, I enjoy it. Metal rules for me because it's a lifestyle thing for me. It's what I do. It's about community, I think, more than anything else. If you're in metal, and you know what it's about. Yeah, and it's been like that for me for 30, 40 years. And basically the people and the enjoyment of being people within this community, that's why it rules. Thank you very much.